everybody, this is Sportman16, and for this video, I'm going to be talking about the truly big event that happened today, which is basically what people call the Great American Eclipse. Yep. Us millions of Americans got to see a truly celestial event, which was basically a total solar eclipse. Now, my take on it was freaking awesome. Practically my whole family came out of the house to see it, even though despite the fact that before the whole darkening happened, it was like mid-90s, like low to mid-90 degrees out there, and we were sweating our butts off. I mean, from where my perspective was, we weren't able to get in the shadow of totality, which is basically the umbra. We were basically well within the penumbra. And the thing of it was, for me, that basically I was able to get a good night's sleep until I woke up at about pretty much 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I woke up at 6. And pretty much between that and before the sky started darkening, I just tried to keep my nerves down as much as I could. But by the time it got to around, I think, say about around 9 or 10, I think it would have been somewhere around 10 that my excitement started increasing. And then basically once it got to about like around 11 or 11:30, or basically the time that the moon would have started coming in front of the sun, which was 11:50. Oh boy, the excitement nerves really started to have an effect on my body. I mean, me, my sister, and my mom, we were basically just coming in and out of the house, just getting brief glimpses of the eclipse. I mean, we didn't have the special made glasses to look at the eclipse, so we decided to go low tech by doing more of like an offset, like using a box, creating like a pinhole within the box so we could view the eclipse happening that way. Me, I was just decided to just go looking around the sky and not looking directly at the sun, because that was just stupid. Though technically, I only just glanced up at it for like pretty much like that, just staring at it for like just a split second, and then basically once the sky started darkening, I think basically when the moon was at the like a prime crescent, basically Mother Nature wanted to help us, give us a look. So basically, as the eclipse was happening, basically a cloud came overhead and basically blocked out the eclipse for a moment, but some parts of the clouds were covered up enough to where I was actually able to look up and actually see the eclipse happening between the eclipse itself and the clouds. And man, how excited I was when I saw it, and my heart just utterly raced. I mean, I felt like my heart was racing as fast as like a stock car from NASCAR. I mean, the event was, the eclipse was happening so well that even my own dad was saying that it was a cool sight to see. And basically, we were watching like the totalities happen, like I think it was like on the Weather Channel. As we were watching the totality happen in like the first day, which was Oregon, I think. It's basically the woman who was watching the eclipse from her point of view. She saw it as such a beautiful sight that she actually started tearing. Like, she was legitimately crying tears of joy because that sight was so beautiful. And it was pretty cool to see, even if it was on TV. And then basically, the near totality that we had came at 1:15, or basically quarter after 1. I mean, we didn't get the totality, even though it would have been really cool if we did. But we were like a few couple tens of miles from the northernmost part of the totality, but it was still pretty cool to see. Because basically, as we were watching the eclipse happening, basically there's an elementary school just almost right behind, or pretty much say in front of this house, because from this perspective right here, my back is facing towards the front wall of the house. And basically our house faces, I think it's southeast. And basically, yeah, this wall is basically part of the front of the house. But yeah, basically there was an elementary school basically across the street and behind the other houses across that street. But there was enough of a gap there that we basically watched some of the kids of that elementary school come outside to watch the eclipse for themselves. And man, did they like it too. Because I think pretty much for us here, we basically got about 98 to 99% of the eclipse. And basically what I'm going to be doing is that once I have this video uploaded, I'm going to be putting a link into the description, which is basically a link to a video that my sister made showing our point of view of the eclipse during the 98 to 98% of the eclipse, even though her camera doesn't show too much of it. I mean, I would have loved to make the video from my perspective, but I was just so nerve-wracked that, like, my hands were shaking, my heart was racing like crazy, and it was at to the point where I got so excited for the eclipse that I just couldn't even stand up. I basically sat down and then basically just fell on my back for like a minute because, well, as I was lying on the ground, like a nice little swarm of gnat flies were hovering all around me, and the grass didn't exactly feel comfortable either. But I had to sit down during the time of the most dark part. But it was still an absolutely amazing sight. And something that I would like to hear from you guys what you thought if you saw the eclipse yourself. It's like how much of the eclipse you saw, and if you did see the eclipse, how awesome of a sight it was for you. I seriously would like to hear from you guys of your thoughts of the eclipse. If you're like a viewer of mine or a subscriber of mine that lives in the United States. But yeah, it was just a very, very awesome sight. And from what I have heard is that the next solar eclipse to come around to the United States, I do believe they said it was April 8th of 2024, basically seven years from now. Well, basically like around 7 years from now. And basically for what this shows, like, it's not going to be as dark as the one for today, which was August 21st of 2017. But I still can't get over how awesome that sight was. And I still couldn't thank Mother Nature for bringing in that one cloud that hovered between us and the eclipse, that where I can actually get a look at the eclipse without hurting my eyes. And again, I really want to hear from you guys what your thoughts were about the eclipse if you saw it. Even though I feel like most likely you would have anyways, but yeah, it'd be nice to hear from you people. So, I do believe that is enough said. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching, and as always, my outro shall handle the rest. So I will be seeing you guys next time.